And so this student, whose grades were once poor enough to warrant a parent-teacher meeting, made the unprecedented decision to fight for the top rank in the grade. The legends of our school days are often born from a single moment of teenage resolve.
Do you really think we can take first place?
Do you want to?
Okay then, I want to burn this all down.
With my help, Limo's grades began to improve exponentially, Zhiying his continuous progress. The teacher moved his seat to the very front row.
Mr. Sun wants you to switch seats with Jin Jaihao. Andre's still sitting there.
Hey, so you also think he's a handful to deal with?
Don't forget to take the pencils from your school bag. Okay. And the ink. Oh, your ink is over here. Don't forget to take it. Okay. Do you have enough scratch paper? I assume here, take a few sheets.
Oh, come on. It's not like I'm transferring schools.
Even though we were separated, the bond between us remained unchanged. Sure enough, through our relentless efforts, Limo lived up to expectations and actually ranked first in the entire grade.
In this exam, everyone in our class showed great improvement, but the one who improved the most is Limo. His score is now the highest in the entire grade. Alright, listen to me first. Limo, I always knew you had potential. That's why I sat you in the back at the very beginning. Students like you need a bit of reverse psychology to be motivated. Don't you agree? Now, for the second thing, regarding the third to last question on the math exam, there was a grading error. After the math department discussed it, they found that some students used proof methods different from the standard answer, but they were nonetheless correct. So, we decided to adjust the scores for several students. The top student in the grade is actually Su Feifei from our class. Let's all give her a round of applause. This exam is now over. So, Feifei will be going to Singapore. The rest of you must continue preparing for the Zhongkao.
The most painful thing in the world isn't never having something, but losing it the very moment you finally grasp it. In an instant, Limo felt as if his soul had been hollowed out. He couldn't even bring himself to attend P, his favorite class. He just slumped over his desk, tears flowing uncontrollably. Tears kept flowing, and I couldn't say a word. After school, to vent the pent-up frustration in our hearts, the two of us did something we had never dared to do before. We set the wild grass by the river ablaze, watching the flames soar. The two of us ran wildly along the riverbank, screaming at the top of our lungs. It was as if we were purging every ounce of grievance, anger, and resentment, letting it all out until it was all consumed by the fire. He was happy that day, because in his darkest and most helpless hour, he had a friend like me by his side. But he never imagined that my loathing for these rules, built on lies, went far beyond his imagination. The next day at the school-wide flag-raising ceremony, I made an earth-shattering move. I exposed the teacher's foul backroom dealings in front of everyone.
Limo ranked first in this exam. I didn't. Neither did Sun. Feifei. Limo is the one who should go to Singapore, not me, and certainly not Sun Feifei. Teacher Sun, I have a question for you. Why are the two students whose grades were altered both from your private tutoring class? You shouldn't lie. If you don't admit it, I'll keep firing away.
That's all for today's ceremony. Dismissed. Back to your classrooms. What are you still standing there for? Get back to class.
Wait. I have posted the evidence on the bulletin board.
No one is allowed to look back to your rooms. I said get back to class.
Once I spoke out, things spiraled out of control. The whole school knew. The principal summoned our parents to the office there. Under the principal's pressure, I remained as defiant as ever. I calmly stated my case, refusing to apologize. I wrote this myself. These are the drafts I can show you.
They're right here in my bag. And I was the one who put up these flyers. I posted them around 8 o'clock last night. I was afraid someone would tear them down.
So I put up 3 layers, and used a whole roll of tape. My confession and defiance were met instantly with a brutal beating from my father. Then the principal turned to question Li Mo, who was paralyzed with fear. He recoiled and distanced himself from me. I don't blame him. After that, I was unofficially expelled. My father went into a blind rage, beating me as if I were a dog. He dragged me all the way home. Worried about my safety, Lin Mo ran as fast as he could. He navigated through the cluttered shanties and found my house through the window. He finally witnessed the true source of the bruises he had seen on my body back in the bathhouse. Inside, the father I loathed was venting his rage like a wild beast. I could only scramble around the stove, desperately trying to dodge his blows. In that moment, I spotted Lin Mo peering in from outside. I didn't want him to feel any guilt. I forced a smile for the only friend I ever had. But in the very next second, I was kicked across the room by my enraged father and slammed onto the floor. He tried to force me to bow my head and apologize to the teacher. I couldn't understand what I had done wrong. Then a bucket of boiling water was poured over me. The searing agony instantly consumed everything.
Why must you be so stubborn? Why are you so stubborn?
That was the last thing I heard, the scalding water. Stripped away all my senses, I died. I died at the hands of my own father's brutal violence. And I died under Li Mo's gaze, which was filled with shock and helplessness. Everyone knew it. It was an undeniable fact, a bloody tragedy that stains the history of this small town. But Li Mo seemed to have forgotten it all. The police came to question him that day. Faced with such immense trauma, his body developed a stress response. He suddenly felt an intense itch on his back and ran out like a madman. He dashed into an empty classroom, frantically stripping off his clothes while desperately clawing at his own back.